I have done a ton of shopping on Amazon in the recent, I don't know, couple of months, and I've picked up a bunch of fun devices. Now, the reason why I did that, the reason for even going shopping is a couple of successful device purchases that I have had on Amazon. Number one is this little Emay tool. Now, this I've talked about before and I love it. I take this everywhere with me. When I have traveled, I take it with me. It's simply a gua sha shaped tool. Looks like this. It gets hot or warm and it gets cool, and then it has a vibration. It literally is just for soothing, cooling, lymphatic drainage, and you can use the warm, of course, to do kind of like cryo back and forth if you want to really kind of depuff. I took this on a little girls trip that I went on with a couple of my best friends, and one of my friends was getting a migraine on the airplane going to our destination, and when we were standing in line to get our rental car, she's sitting with the cool, like trying to do some almost like acupressure to help alleviate her headache. She said this was wonderful. It is rechargeable. So I brought, of course, the charging cord and just recharged it throughout the whole trip and used it every single day. I love it so much. It is the most simple little gimmicky looking tool, and it was a very, very successful purchase for me on Amazon. So of course that gets me thinking about all of the other things that look gimmicky on Amazon, but maybe could be the next thing that is kind of like this little Emay tool. So I picked up several things. Most of them are for depuffing and working on under eye circles, under eye crepiness, certainly under eye puffiness, and lymphatic drainage. So what you're gonna see today is these devices, and I'm gonna let you know if any of them even closely measure up to that wonderful little Emay tool that I picked up. The other tool that I do have that I purchased a very, very long time ago that I think I've shared here before is these little ice globes. I know I've shared ice globes before in affordable alternatives. I don't want them to fall out of the package. These are stainless here, and they actually have a liquid inside of them because as they start to thaw, I can hear that there's like an ice cube or something going on in there. I'm not sure what the liquid is inside, but what I like about them is they have a handle that is not stainless. So this part isn't cold and it rolls between your fingers really, really well. So what I love about this is I can be wearing a mask. I can be wearing my favorite eye masks, which right now are from Drmtlgy. I absolutely love these. I used to use hydropeptide and I still do really, really like the Skin Iceland. I actually like both of those a lot. They're just expensive. Even on sale, they aren't that cheap. These from Drmtlgy are a type that I usually blow off because I feel like they're going to slide down the face. These don't slide down the face. They are packed with amazing ingredients. So I've been using these every single morning and loving them. Well, they look like this. You can see they're almost like slimy looking. They start to slide, but they do not slide down your face. And that is pretty cool with these. I'll put the ingredient deck of these up on the screen. I will put these on and I will use these little ice globes over them. Now you can also do that with any kind of sheet mask that you have. I love to use tools over a sheet mask, whether that is microcurrent, whether it's an ultrasonic skin spatula, or it is ice globes, or even one of those ice jade masks over a sheet mask, over, under eye patches, etc. I just think it's kind of a way to amp up the entire process and really get some great lymphatic drainage because there's nice slip, and also a great way to depuff. It's just really, and infuse lots and lots of hydration. So the reason why these are so cool for use with those kind of under eye patches or any under eye patches that you have is that you can roll these across your skin. You don't pull on them, you literally roll them. And so you can get great lymphatic drainage. And can you hear? There's something in there. I've had these out for a little while now. I filmed some B-roll and stuff. But once they've thawed just a little bit, they will actually roll right over those eye patches. If you use them too soon on the eye patches, they'll roll them right off your face. But I always wait just a little bit until they have some slip, and I can get the best cold lymphatic drainage with my under eye patches, whichever ones, and these tools. So this was another kind of Amazon device, if you will, purchase that is indispensable to me. I love these. They were not expensive. They live in my freezer. They live in this case. They are stainless, so they stay cold for a really, I mean like a really long time, a couple hours in the morning. And when I tend to use them is usually in the morning. Okay, so this was another purchase that I got off of Amazon that was kind of like, I'll give it a shot and see how much I like it. And I love them. Okay, so now on to the devices that I have picked up in the last couple of months that I've tested out. First thing, let's talk about these Lua red LED eye patches. This is the box. Now, these were super intriguing to me. I want to say that they were like $95. And they are rechargeable. So they have a little recharging kind of remote that is wired to the eye patches. And these actually, I'm going to light them up in case you're sensitive to light. I am going to light them up right now. They don't flash or anything, but I'm going to light them up. So hopefully you can see that because I'm in front of a window. I don't have a light in front of me, but I have a window. Hopefully you can see that there is some red LED happening right there. Okay, so they have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little diodes. They come with a sticky kind of applicator there so that they actually will adhere to your skin. And then you keep putting them back on the backing so to keep them from, you know, gathering dust and hair and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, so on clean skin, you put these under your eyes and they stick under your eyes. And they're just a huge fail for me, honestly. First of all, they don't stay stuck to your skin at all. And I mean, I have tried them, obviously very, very beginning, I tried them on clean skin with absolutely no skincare on. And that would be when the stick is the best. And two things happened. Number one, they didn't stick completely, but the parts that did stick, when I pulled it off, I thought, geez, I feel like I'm pulling my under eye off, which is not, you know, the idea. But what has happened subsequently is even when I use it on clean, dry skin, I feel like the corners end up starting to come off and they're just not super duper effective. And for $95, I feel like you could use that money toward a better actual overall LED. And I definitely will have some new LED options coming your way very, very soon that I cannot wait to talk about, but this unfortunately is not it. So this was a fail, although it looked really cool, right? This is one of those things that you're scrolling Amazon and you're looking for things for your under eyes. And this is like, hey, an LED light up under eye patch. Yeah, sign me up. Well, unfortunately, it's pretty gimmicky and ineffective. Okay, next thing that we're going to talk about is again, another under eye type of patch. This one though is rechargeable. It comes in this case and you charge it up to begin with right here. And it is 2 little under eye patches that recharge and they actually have LED and then they also have microcurrent. Now this one I'm on the fence about. Mostly I think it's probably a no. But part of me is kind of like, well, I mean, it's kind of cool. So this is what the underneath looks like. And this side actually lights up and you get a little bit of red LED. When you put it onto your skin, they actually say that you could put a serum on, etc. And it does have microcurrent in here. So I know that I need for my under eyes to be hydrated so that I get a good current. Now, when I used this, I don't know, I've used it several times. They send you with a couple sets, maybe 4 or 5 sets of the sticky pads that go on here. And of course, I thought to myself, well, what happens when you run out of those sticky things? Because I don't see anywhere that you can reorder them. But you put this on and it also doesn't stay stuck very well if you are upright. So I suppose if you wanted to treat yourself and lay down and put these on, turn them on so you get the LED, and then there are several different levels of microcurrent to the point where the microcurrent gets so high that it actually will start to, like, I can feel my eyelid start to kind of like pull, and probably a little bit too high. And in fact, when I did that, I tested these one day and I tested every single level for a little while. When I took them off, I had a couple of spots where the microcurrent was primarily going through under my eye. And for that, I thought, I don't think that that is fantastic because it's really almost like one entry point for the microcurrent. And I could see where if you overuse these, there's a potential that you might, I don't know, maybe even damage your epidermis, not necessarily, deeper, whatever. Anyway, I'm on the fence about these because when used on the lower microcurrent, if you're laying down and you've used a serum, etc., what I did, because I use these every day, I went ahead and put one of my Drmtlgy sets on, let it sit for a long time, did a bunch of other stuff with them, some ice globes, blah, blah, blah. Then I took them off, patted in the serum from the Drmtlgy eye patches, and then I put these on and laid down for like 6 minutes to let it do a treatment, because when you lay down, they aren't going to fall off. And I did it on a low microcurrent setting where I could barely feel the microcurrent. And I definitely feel like in that moment, it probably did do a little bit of lymphatic drainage. The problem is I just think it's a great idea in concept. I just think there's some flaws to the execution. So these are not something I would recommend that you get, but I definitely think they're interesting. And I think that if something came out that improved on this design, or if they improved on this design, I get where they're going. And I actually think these are really kind of cool. They're really kind of cool. They're just not quite there yet with the execution. Okay, so I will obviously list these, not for you to necessarily go buy, but if you're interested in just looking at the specs and the details of these, because they are very, very, very random on Amazon, I'll list them, of course, in the description box and in the first comment so that you can check these things out if you're curious. Because the other thing about that is when you start going in and looking at things like this, of course, then it suggests other things to you, and this is how you end up down the rabbit hole. And this is also how you can sometimes find the little gems that end up being the things that are actually pretty cool. That leads me to the one thing that I feel like I discovered that looks like 100% gimmick, 100%, I'm going to say that up front, but I actually ended up liking it. It's the one thing that I kind of thought was going to be a real big joke, and I actually really do like it. Now, it's interesting. It is a massager for this area of your face, and what it does is it actually has in the black part here, the black part that is going to sit on your, all around your eyes, because these don't really touch your eyes. They kind of hover over your eyelid and underneath around your eye. And these can either get cool or get warm. And I always put them on cool. And I am telling you, that hovering over your eye with the cool is such a fantastic sensation. Now, the black part here, this is like an airbag that inflates. It's like, like you get those massagers for your hands or for your legs or for your calves or whatever. This black part inflates and kind of does a couple massages, and then it deflates, and then it does that over and over. And you can choose whether you want to do soft, whether you don't want to massage like that at all, or if you want to do a strong massage. It also has music playing, and I have to tell you, one of the very first things I did was go through the manual and figure out how to turn the music off, because I was like, oh my gosh, it honestly would drive me bat crazy to sit there and listen to the piano music that they had going. My idea of sitting and getting a great massage would be to listen to a podcast or something like that of my own, not their piano music. I mean, it was piano music, but I don't care for it. So luckily you can turn that off. But I sat there and you get this fantastic massage from your temples, all around your eyes, upper cheek area, and then the cold, because I don't typically ever use the warm on the actual eye things. The cold is sitting over your actual eyeballs. It's a really nice experience. I'm pretty impressed with this, and this is uber gimmicky. I mean, it really is. I know some people are gonna be like, what? This is one of the purchases where I was like, oh, that actually turned out pretty good. I think that people that might like this are people who get headaches, people who have, puffiness, or, need some extra help with lymphatic drainage, that kind of thing. You might like this. I like this for all of that, but I also like this for turning off looking at something, because I look at a screen, whether it's my computer or my phone or the camera or whatever, a lot. And so this kind of forces me to just sit back and relax a little bit, close my eyes, and if I want to just zone out and listen to something that is relatively mindless or whatever, and just relax a little bit. I definitely also noticed some lymphatic drainage with this, for sure. I noticed that it helped to drain the area around my eyes. We have lymph nodes here. Of course, we can carry fluid in that area, and it absolutely did help me with that. But I think more than anything, it's just an incredible experience to have it on. You just have to be willing to not be able to look at anything. And so it's, that is not how we are this day and age. We like to be looking at our phone or doing whatever. It forces you to sit and absolutely relax. So this one was a really, really cool find for me. I liked it a lot. Now, if you are curious about some of the devices that I've spoken about in the past, I want to let you know, I want to give you a little bit of an update on some of the devices that I've talked about for a really long time that have not changed. My opinion has not changed on the droplet. My opinion has not changed on the NUA. It is still my preferred radio frequency device. I love it. My opinion has not changed on the Zip. I absolutely love that little device. In fact, typically the Zip is the device that I take with me on trips anywhere, along with the Emay, because they're both such small devices that I know I can fit it easily in even my carry-on, whatever, and it's travel friendly. I love it. The app for the Zip is absolutely amazing. I just love it. So the devices that I've spoken about in the past, I get people that ask me about, do you still like this? Do you still like that? I do. And so it's kind of not that exciting to talk about things that you've talked about for a couple of years. I haven't really switched. I definitely still like the MyoLift. I think that the MyoLift Mini and the 600 are two of the best microcurrent devices out on the market. If you are willing to use probes, if you'd like to use gloves, that kind of thing, they definitely are still my preference as far as microcurrent. I still like the Pico toner. I think that it is hands down best for the body when it comes to using gloves and working the body skin with their dynamic microcurrent. So my opinion hasn't changed on any of those devices. If you're interested in, like an updated protocol with any of those, just let me know. We have a ton of microneedling content coming because we are heading into, believe it or not, we're heading into planning content for the fall. And that is when I really, really up my game on microneedling. So I'm planning, I think it's time to just do new microneedling content altogether, updated protocols, etc., because that is definitely probably my number one modality, right up there with microcurrent for at-home use. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've found any fun devices on Amazon or anywhere that are innovative, that are interesting. What have you discovered recently that has floated your boat? I would love to hear. I think it's really, really fun, even to hear about the fails. It's interesting and it's fun, and it helps other people to know what to and not to buy on Amazon. I do hope that you're having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you in my next skincare video. Take care.